Welcome everybody. This is Media Translation, Lecture 2. Today we are going to talk about technical aspects of media and political text. First, we have to pay attention to the structural aspects of the media and political text. What is different about media and political text? Often one of the elements that is immediately obvious is their particular structure. Look at this sample or example. You see here, after health care victory, Senate Democrats seek compromise on tax plan. This is headline, main headline. This is by Alan Rabirock, August 2017. Here you see the journalist and the date. A letter signed by 45 Senate Democrats urged President Trump and Republican leaders in the Senate work with Democrats on coming tax reform debate. This is a synopsis. Then you see Washington. This is the city. Then you see the main topic. So we have the overall scheme of elements in a traditional article can be presented as follows. Subheading 1, section, and we have header. We have subheader or subheading 2, visual with subheading 2. We have synopsis, agency title, author information, date and place, then special notes. So media text is different, or newspaper text is different. You see this format or this structure. Another feature in media and political text is compression. The tendency to use compression on different levels is one of the distinctive characteristics of language of the media and political text. Ellipsis, omission of an element or part of a sentence. Abbreviation, shortening of the word to several letters, and acronyms, shortening of the words or combination of words to the initial letter of each. So we have this feature as compression, ellipsis and abbreviation and acronyms. The third feature is style. Every newspaper, no matter what country it comes from or what language it is published in, is made up of different sections. The bulk of the articles will be related to current events and news in different areas of interest, like business, arts, and culture, international, and so on. These articles will have a certain style as they are there to inform and possibly provide a bit of an interpretation of events. Then you have a political commentary, sometimes written by politicians, that will have whatever style and tone they decide to use. Editorials are just like essays and can follow any number of rules. To translate everything in a newspaper effectively, each of these different styles needs to be considered and used. So we have to pay attention to the different styles. The second or the next feature is terminology. You know, each country has its own slang and different types of jargon that is used only in certain contexts. When used out of context, these words might not even make sense. A good example is the political terminology from the US. The term affirmative action makes sense to anyone in the US who keeps up with current events, but outside the context of politics, it does not have much clout. These are examples. Look at the sentence in English. The use of temporary quotes, reserved places, or affirmative action is not current practice. In translation Arabic, كما أن استعمال حصص أو أماكن محجوزة أو إجراءات إيجابية. Affirmative actions, إجراءات إيجابية ليس من الممارسات المتبعة في الوقت الراهن. Egalitarian juridical policies had to decide to precede affirmative action. وأضافت أن السياسات القضائية القائمة على المساواة يجب أن تسبق العمل الإيجابي. Translating this phrase could prove difficult as there may not be an equivalent in the target language. The target culture may not include this political concept either, so an explanation or footnote might be needed. Cultural context. This feature is important. The very nature of newspapers published every day to keep everyone informed about ongoing events, new happenings, and much more makes them extremely dependent on context. The context of each newspaper is the country where it is published and circulated. The information presented may not be complete or very clear to someone who has not been keeping up with the news in the area, and that is exactly the point. This presents a huge challenge for the translator. However, they have to make sure they are educated and informed on the topic and provide any necessary clarification and explanation without bulking up the article too much or straying from the subject. So the cultural context is one of the important factors. The next one is ideology in translating newspaper. Christian Nord, 1991, has put this. A series of questions arise in the translation practice from the power-oriented perspective. What gets translated? What is valued? And what is excluded? Who does the translation? Who controls the production of translation? Who is translated for? Who is given access to foreign materials? And who denied? How is the material translated? What is omitted, added, altered, or to control the message? These questions involve who is saying what, to whom, for what purpose. Who is saying what, to whom, for what purpose. And therefore confirm that ideological manipulation also exists in translation, as it does in most forms of communication. Ideology explicitly identified as power relations is implicated in every aspect of human communication, and translation as one way of interlingual and intercultural communication has also been subject to ideological manipulation. So these are the main factors which play a role in media translation. Thank you for your listening.